So the NBA draft lottery was last Tuesday, and I wanted to go through my mock draft. This is a super deep draft class, and I think it could be one of the best classes for a while. Today I'm only going to be going through the lottery picks, and I might do the rest of the first round once I watch some of the lower ranking players in the draft. Starting from the first pick through to the 14th, let's begin our 2022 NBA mock draft. Going first overall to the Orlando Magic, I have Chet Holmgren. Holmgren is definitely one of the most unique prospects in this class. He's 7 feet tall, 195 pounds, and has a 7'6" wingspan. There's truly not one flaw in his game. You can say he needs to put on weight, but that's probably the easiest thing to fix for incoming rookies. Holmgren offensively has a great touch around the rim, great efficiency numbers to go with a smooth jump shot, and he's got the guard skills and ability to bring the ball up the court. His mobility allows for him to be a versatile defender, and his length makes him one of the best rim protectors in the class. He averaged 14 points and 10 rebounds on 61% from the field and 39% from 3. This pick would also reunite the duo of Jalen Suggs and Chet Holmgren, which wouldn't be a bad idea considering they'd be able to develop alongside one another. My draft comparison for Holmgren would be Kristaps Porzingis because of their skill set at a similar frame. With the second pick in our mock draft, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Jabari Smith. Smith is one of the best fits for the Thunder in this draft because of their lack of three-point shooting. The Thunder were the worst three-point shooting team in the league this season, and adding Jabari Smith would be a great start to fixing that problem. Smith shot 42% from 3 at Auburn and can knock down mid-range shots at a similar rate. Standing at 6'10", Smith has no problem shooting over defenders. His ability to make shots off the bounce makes him super difficult to guard, especially for a player with his size and agility. Giving Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey a shooter like Smith would help space the floor for them and give them room to create and attack the basket. Smith is fairly nimble for his size and can fit into a bunch of different lineups because of his versatility on defense. He uses his length well when protecting the basket and proved to be a solid help defender last season at Auburn. My draft comparison for Smith would be Jonathan Isaac because of their defensive versatility and similar offensive skill set at 6'10". With the third pick in our mock draft, I have the Houston Rockets taking Paolo Banchero. Paolo's ability to attack the rim and shoot the ball makes it very difficult for his defenders to guard him. I think him falling to the Rockets at number 3 would certainly help both him and the team. The Rockets have solid spacing with guys like Porter, Green, and Woods all being able to knock down shots from outside. This will give Banchero the room to operate in the paint and use his strength near the rim to score and create. Banchero shot 34% from 3 and 48% from the field at Duke. Hopefully Banchero can continue to develop his shot so he can stretch defenses even more. What makes Paolo a good pick here is the fact that the Rockets have a good selection of scorers. Banchero, Green, and Porter would all be fantastic off the dribble and could get to the basket or create good looks for each other. My draft comparison for Paolo Banchero would be Anthony Davis because of their complete offensive skill set and use of strength on offense and defense. With the fourth pick in our NBA mock draft, the Sacramento Kings will take Keegan Murray at the fourth pick. The Sacramento Kings don't have any young wings for the future, so I think Keegan Murray falling into Sacramento's lap will be something they don't want to pass up. Murray is a great two-way wing with a good jump shot. He's one of the best pure scorers in this year's draft and had great efficiency at Iowa. He averaged 23.5 points to go along with 9 boards per game on 55% from the field and 40% from 3. Murray would be able to space the floor well for Fox and Sabonis to attack the basket. If Murray is as NBA ready as the scouts say, I could see the Kings making a push for the play-in tournament or even making the playoffs. Murray's impact on winning was huge at Iowa, and if he can check all the boxes for Sacramento, I can see them finally returning to the postseason. My draft comparison for Murray would be Pascal Siakam because of their versatility on both offense and defense. Coming in with the fifth pick, the Detroit Pistons take Jaden Ivey. The Pistons finished 23-59, but I believe there's a lot of promise with this team. Drafting Ivey would solidify their backcourt for the future and give them 2 guys that have a strong ability to score the basketball. Ivey was a standout at Purdue who used his explosiveness to get to the basket or score and get to the free throw line. This pick would give them great size in the backcourt with Cunningham and Ivey, which would set them up for success defensively. Playmaking isn't one of Ivey's strongest skills, so pairing him with Cunningham would help him take the pressures of having to create for others off. Ivy found great success getting to the basket with poor spacing at Purdue, so imagine what he could do in the NBA where there's much more space. Ivy could be a Rookie of the Year candidate if he finds the right team. With guys like Isaiah Stewart in the front court, you can start to see a solid young defensive team in the works for the Pistons. My draft comparison for Ivy would be De'Aaron Fox because of their ability to use their explosiveness to get to the basket and finish through traffic. With the 6th pick of our mock draft, the Indiana Pacers take Jalen Duren. This is a tough pick for the Indiana Pacers since they already have a solid young backcourt with Halliburton and Duarte. Halliburton is the cornerstone of this Pacers rebuild, and Duarte, who has recently been awarded All-Rookie Second Team this past season, looks like he could be a great backcourt partner with him. Drafting Sharp here would crowd the backcourt a little bit for Indiana, especially with veteran point guard Malcolm Brogdon still on the team. The Pacers do already have Isaiah Jackson, but they haven't used him as much as they could. Because of that, I think Indiana goes with Duren. He'd be a defensive force for the Pacers to build around and a strong finisher inside to pair with Halliburton. His rim protection and athleticism make him a strong pick for Indiana. My comparison for Jalen Duren in this draft would be a Dwight Howard because of their strength inside and athleticism. At the 7th pick, the Portland Trail Blazers take Shaedon Sharpe. I have Sharpe falling to 7 because I think teams might be a little concerned with him not playing the entire college season. However, he's still one of the most talented guard prospects in this draft class. The Trail Blazers are in an awkward spot where they aren't close to winning but still have Damian Lillard who can have a huge impact on winning. I think we see Lillard on a new team next year, and making room for Anthony Simons will certainly set them up for a decent rebuild. Sharpe stands at 6'6", which gives him a bit of versatility on the wing. He's a talented scorer that could go along well with Simons to begin a rebuild. The only problem with this is that the Blazers roster lacks a lot of young talent. They have some great athletes like Nasir Little and Greg Brown who could be included in a rebuild but still have a lot of missing pieces. If there were to be a trade involving Dame, I'd imagine they'd fill a couple of those roles with future draft picks or young pieces. My draft comparison for Sharpe would be a way more athletic version of Darius Garland. Both have great perimeter skills and can shoot extremely well from outside. With the 8th pick in our mock draft, the New Orleans Pelicans take AJ Griffin. Griffin will help the Pelicans space the floor, which was a problem they had this season. Ideally, Zion will be back and they'll have McCollum, Ingram, Murphy, and Griffin all working the perimeter to draw the defense away from Zion to open driving lanes for him. Griffin shot the ball extremely well at Duke with a 45% three-point percentage, so I can definitely see Griffin fitting into the Pelicans scheme really well. The Pelicans have a solid team that can make some noise in the years to come, so adding a decent win-now piece would definitely be in their best interest. My draft comparison for AJ Griffin was Klay Thompson because of their efficiency from outside, patience when finding a shot, and ability to attack closeouts. With the 9th pick in our mock draft, the San Antonio Spurs take Johnny Davis. Davis is a backcourt prospect that can defend, shoot, and attack the basket very well. Another thing that makes him valuable is his movement off the ball, so I think he complements DeJounte Murray very well. Davis has a variety of ways he can finish around the basket and has great elevation on his pull-up jumper. He's also got a super deep bag when it comes to getting the looks he wants. Davis did struggle shooting efficiently, but I think playing in San Antonio will help him fix that sooner rather than later. He averaged 20 points and 8 rebounds a game on 43% from the field and 31% from 3 at Wisconsin. Murray and Davis could be a great backcourt in the future for San Antonio if this is the landing spot for Johnny Davis. My draft comparison for Johnny Davis would be Jordan Poole because of his craftiness when getting to the basket and ability to make shots off the dribble. With the 10th pick of our mock draft, the Washington Wizards take Dyson Daniels. Daniels going to Washington could be a problem if Bradley Beal is still on the team when the season starts. Wizards find themselves in a similar position to the Blazers where they have a star in their prime but the rest of the roster is in rebuild mode. If the Wizards commit to the rebuild and find a new home for Beal, then I think Dyson Daniels is the right pick here. He can do just about everything offensively and is a solid perimeter defender. He decided to go through the G League instead of college this past season, and to be honest, his numbers aren't fantastic. However, there is a lot of upside for him, especially since he's only going to be 19 at the time of the draft. Daniels would fill the point guard role that the Wizards are missing, so I do think this is a good destination for him. They're in need of a young backcourt piece for the future, and I think this is the right place and right time to capitalize on the guard talent with this pick. My draft comparison for Daniels would be DeJounte Murray because of their length and size for a point guard and their ability to create on offense and their strength on the defensive end. At the 11th pick of our mock draft, the New York Knicks take Benedict Mathurin. Mathurin was a huge part of the Arizona Wildcats' success in their most recent season, and I think his poise and ability to score makes him an attractive prospect for a team like the Knicks, who are in need of a point guard for the future. The problem with this pick is Mathurin isn't a fantastic playmaker, but I could see him being able to develop that skill in New York because of how many solid scorers they have. Guys like Reddish, Toppin, and Quickly can finish plays for Mathurin, and the Knicks have a lot of great young pieces to put together another playoff run. Mathurin's comparison is Jamal Murray because of their ability to create their own shots and their athleticism. With the 12th pick of our mock draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder take Ousmane Dieng. Dieng would be a project pick here for the Thunder, but that's not the worst thing in the world for this team. Dieng is a 6'9" wing that has playmaking abilities, defensive impact, and ability to score off the dribble. Having those skills at Dieng's height could mean trouble for the rest of the league if he develops properly. With the Thunder rebuild coming together, I could see Dieng having an impact after a couple years of development in OKC. His versatility works well with all the talent that the Thunder have at the moment, and if this is his landing spot, that only sets him up for success. My comparison for Dieng would be Paul George, but with a much lower floor. Dieng is a project player with superstar upside, but whether he can reach those levels is unknown yet. With the 13th pick of our mock draft, the Charlotte Hornets take Mark Williams. Charlotte taking Mark Williams here would solve a few problems for them. Their depth at the 5 would be much better with a defensive anchor like Williams in the lineup, and giving LaMelo Ball another big to finish plays would increase his weapons. Mark Williams could have an impact on both sides of the ball for Charlotte, and if he develops well, could make Charlotte a team we see in the playoffs regularly for the next decade. He averaged 11 points and 7 boards to go along with nearly 3 blocks per game during his time at Duke. His rim protection would be a strong skill for Charlotte to build winning basketball around. With the Hornets bringing all these pieces together, it looks like they are on the brink of making their first playoff berth since 2016. My draft comparison for Williams would be Mo Bamba because of their length and ability to protect the rim. Rounding off the lottery, at pick 14, the Cleveland Cavaliers take Ochai Agbaji. The Cavs look like they're going to be a playoff team we see in the playoffs a lot over the course of the next few years. They filled out their front court in last year's draft, taking Rookie of the Year finalist Evan Mobley. They've also got one of the best rim protectors in the league in Jarrett Allen. I think with the Cavs ready to start winning, I can see them taking Ochai Agbaji to make an impact right away. Agbaji could be a spark off the bench or even a starter if we don't see Sexton in a Cavs jerseys next year. He scored 19 points per game along with 5 rebounds on 48% from the field and 41% from 3 this past year, so he's no stranger to volume. He just finished his senior year at Kansas and won the national championship with them, so it's safe to say that he would definitely have an impact on this Cavs team right away. My comparison for Agbaji would be Chris Duarte because of their complete set of guard skills and NBA readiness. So that wraps up our mock draft. Like I said at the start, I might do a second part with the rest of the first round. If it does happen, it'll probably be after the finals. And if you think the draft will go a little differently, let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.